Ladies and gentlemen, especially, thank you for being here for the Sunday service for the Inner Spiritual Center and for allowing me to share some thoughts with you. I was chuckling when Sharon said he had a spiritual awakening, because if you were next to me in January 24th of 1997, when I opened to my ability as a medium, all four of my grandparents showed up in my bedroom. Now, I was 33, did not have any awareness that I had this ability. And when they showed up, I immediately hit the floor crying because I had buried one of them and I had been at 3 of the other funerals. So my mind was, you're dead, I can see you, I must be on my way out. And the point of sharing that with you is that since that time, spirit, not my grandparents, but spirit and spiritualism has been the tool, the faith, the understanding that has helped me to grow in my understanding of how to live in this world. And I want to speak to that right now, because if anyone knows me intimately, and Sharon does, and Rosemary does, and some of you do, but if any of you know me intimately, you know I'm not a calm person. I can get nervous over little things, and I have no problem sharing with you the, let's call them the idiosyncrasies of my being. But I share them with the intention of helping you to grow in your own understanding of yourself and what I'm still in the process of learning from the spirit side of life. And Sharon and I were watching a program this morning, and one of the characters had a brace on her left arm, and I've been having a little bit of difficulty with my left arm, and so I said to her, oh, I should go get a brace, and we both had a good chuckle about that. There's nothing wrong with that drastically. The point of sharing these thoughts with you, I'll tell the story, and some of you may have heard this story because it's important. I was having a rough go of it a couple of months back. And on my way, it was a Wednesday morning, on my way to the train station to catch a train to get into Manhattan for clients, I had the visit of a guide. I'm not going to name the name of the guide, but I had a visit of a guide. And as he showed up in the car, I was at a stoplight. I was not driving. I was not paying attention more to him. I mean, I was not moving. I wasn't paying more attention to him. I was paying attention to the stoplight in the road, but he came in. And he said, you know, it's all an illusion. Now, I had, prior to getting into the car, an argument with my husband. Some of the things that I was dealing with in life that I could not control were in the forefront of my heart and mind. And my energetic system was completely rattled. Now, I'm going to pause. Have any of you felt that in your life? Have any of you felt completely rattled where you're like, wait a minute. I know what I know. I can get back to this place, but for some reason I'm stuck in the rattled. So I will reference what my response was. But when the guide said, you know, it's all an illusion, I immediately turned to the driver's seat, and you've heard the expression about flipping the bird. I won't do it, but you understand what that means. But I was so angry at hearing those words that my bodily response was emotive in finger form. And the guide laughed at me and then said, so why do you torture yourself? So for the next hour and 15 minutes, getting to the train station, getting into Manhattan, and getting into my office, I had the opportunity to contemplate, why do I torture myself? Now, pause. Ladies and gentlemen, I think because we are human beings that are energetic systems that are sentient, clairsentient at times because some of us are mediumistic and have awareness of it, but all of us are sentient beings living on this planet. And every single one of us is in some way a barometer to what is going on in the world around us. Pause and think about that for a moment. I'll put it in another expression. Every single one of us feels to a degree ourselves as well as the environment that we are in. Like a barometer, we can read the pressure of life, and sometimes we can roll with it and it moves through us, and sometimes it does not attach to us, but sometimes going through our nervous system, it ticks all the boxes and we have an emotional reaction to the process. There are times where we're able to say, wow, okay, ha, 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 look at me, I'm acting like an idiot, and not react in a way that will move us to divorce court very quickly, or relational ending very quickly, or however you want to language that. And there are times where, unfortunately, it moves through us and it ticks all the boxes, so to speak, and energetically we respond, and then we go, oh, sorry about that, wasn't in my best behavior, oops, sorry, didn't mean to do that. In the expression of why do we torture ourselves, pause. In the development of our awareness of ourself as a sentient being, we have the opportunity to take a breath in and try to redirect the energy that is moving through us, that is pressurized, in ways that we're able to divert a normal reaction or a childhood reaction to the circumstance that's going on in that moment. Perfection, I am not. No matter how hard any one of us tries to be the best partner, the best person, the best teacher, the best coworker, the best friend, the best colleague, the best daughter, the best son, the best husband, we're not perfect. But the religion and the showing up of my grandparents 25 years ago, 1997, 25 years ago, the showing up of them and the awareness that there's something even larger than ourselves going on and that we are eternal in our nature, one, takes all of the pressure out of being perfect in this lifetime. Now, forgive me, I don't mean to be a wiseacre, but I say praise Jesus to that. Because even I can breathe, stating that, no, I don't have to be perfect. So in the moment that the guide says to me, why do you torture yourself? The torturing is because I'm trying to control something I can't control. I'm trying to do something in order to be able to make everything okay for everyone, or for someone other than self. Pause. I'm talking about me in this, but I'm hoping that as I'm sharing this story with you, you can see parts of yourself being reflected back to you, and not in an unkind manner, because as I said, we are all sentient beings. We are all registering the barometric pressure or the pressures of the world around us. And all we're trying to do as we live this human life is do the best that we can to walk in the world fully integrated into ourself. And with that, there's a big wow. Because I've found that this awareness, this religion of spiritualism, and this awareness of the spiritual realm has been able to move me into places of acceptance of myself and letting go of the need for perfection and letting go of the desire to please. Now, that does not mean we have the right to walk around in the world and be an emotional machine gun to other people. That does not mean we have the right to walk around in the world attacking other people because they're not doing it our way or whatever. The greatest teaching is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. But it does give us the right to say, I don't think so. No, thank you. I'm going to step away from this discussion because it's aggravating me. Sorry. Much nicer than my physiological body response to the guide. And I'm glad I didn't step away from that discussion. but a much better response. As sentient beings, all we can do to the best of our ability is be aware of our responses and how we act in the world, and remember quite literally that we are balancing out the pressures that we feel, both internal and external, because we do not live in a vacuum. And in that process, we can choose our response to the circumstance. If my grandmother had told me how spiritualism and my awakening to mediumship was going to change my life, I would not have believed her. At the end of the visit, when they showed up, I asked my maternal grandmother, "What do I do with this?" And she said, "Don't worry, you'll find out." In that moment, there was a part of me that was going, "Oh, expletive, darn it. I thought I was going to get the answer. I thought I was going to get the keys to the kingdom. I thought I was going to be able to live in a state of bliss. Oh, I'm enlightened. My grandparents showed up." Ladies and gentlemen, doesn't happen that way. Even with the awareness of ourselves as being, even with the awareness of ourselves as consciousness, even with the awareness of ourselves as light, we are human. And in our humanity, we have to fully embody ourselves to the best of our ability. And from that space, live in this world fully as an expression of divinity. And that does not mean perfection. I think the perfection comes into place when we can own our imperfection. I think the perfection comes into place when we can say, "I messed up." I think beauty comes into place when we can feel our vulnerability. Because, ladies and gentlemen, being human is not easy. Walking around in these bodies that are born to die. Yes, our bodies are born to die. Some of us have the magnificence of living in a body for a long time, but ultimately the body will fail, but the soul and the spirit will not. Our eternal nature continues. And so no matter how long we have on this planet, no matter how long we have on this planet, we have the magnificent ability to move in places of embodiment and awareness, to share with each other the best of ourselves to the best of our ability, to not torture ourselves in the moments of things we cannot control, that are uncontrollable, are presenting themselves, and in the ways we can lend compassion to others, but especially to ourselves. I say especially to ourselves because if a child came up to any one of us right now with a skinned knee that had blood running down, the first thing we would do would pick them up, hug them, hold them, attend to the bruise. And yet at times as human beings with ourselves, we don't see our own skinned knees and bruises. So I encourage all of us as we grow more fully into our lives and we live into our hundreds, our 125s, our 138s, however long the spirit realm has for us planted here on this planet, I encourage us to come to the awareness of our imperfection and remember that we're just doing the best we can, balancing out the pressures that are internal and external. But I encourage us to walk in the world with the knowledge that life is eternal and that we will, in fact, evolve into a place of light and beauty, and that we have the opportunity to live fully into this physical world, being the best human being we can be. Thank you for allowing me to share my thoughts with you this morning.